to livestream 17 in this space shooter DevVenture. So I left off last time where we were doing an NPC gun script, okay? And we wanted to find a way to establish a trigger for the player, or rather for the NPC enemy, to start shooting at a specific time, right? Or on a trigger. And we need to find a way, firstly, when is that trigger going to happen? And then secondly, how are we going to test it? So let's do that. Okay. Just turn the volume down a little. Okay. Now, the idea that I had was to go to testing seek behavior and modify these waypoints to have not just a number, right? So waypoint number, whatever, but also to have health and a target. Okay, so let's do that. Let's open up the file system, go to components, to waypoint. And let's have a look at this. Okay, so the area 3D node is what? What is it? It's a cylinder, isn't it? Has a collision shape, which is the cylinder. Yeah. Okay. So why don't we just add a target to the waypoint, because the target has everything it needs built into a single module, right? So I can just toss a target onto the waypoint, boom, like that. And then it's got a health bar and all of those things. So what I can do to put the health bar at the bottom, I can just rotate this. Rotation about z-axis, 180 degrees. So now it's at the bottom of the waypoint. So now you can still see the number and you can see the health. Okay. And now for the waypoint itself, okay, so here's what I need to do. I need to create a resource. Okay. But I've not worked with resources a lot yet. So this is going to be some practice, right? So that's the whole point of DevVenture with MTK at the, in the first place. So let's do that. Over here, I need to create a resource for my target.cscn. I want this resource to export the mesh shape and the collision shape of the target So I can adjust these parameters once I assign a target object to, or rather as a module slash node to a larger scene slash entity. Please guide me through this process, since I have not worked with resources much, well, resources before. Postscript, do you need to know the scene hierarchy of the target.tscn file? Okay, so it's giving me some steps, but it hasn't listed step 0, which is to have a folder in assets for resources. So let's do that. Create a new folder, call it resources, and give it a new color. Oh, it's given it a good color. Red, orange, yellow, green. So this can be orange. This can be yellow. And this can be green. And this can be blue. Or teal, actually. Okay. So in resources, we create a new resource. We'll call it, what is this resource name? Create a new resource, save it target config.tres. Target config.tres. Resource. Create. Target config. Okay. And then we need to make a script in the script files for that as well. Well, I suppose I need to make a folder for this too. Resources. Resources. Red, orange, yellow, green, teal, blue. purple. And then I need to make another folder for globals. Red, orange, yellow, green, teal, blue, purple, and then pink. Okay, then put this one in globals, and then go to resources and create a new script and call it what? Target config.gd. Inherits a resource. Resource. Create. Extends resource. Perfect. There you go. We'll just put that there. Class name target config has a mesh, has a collision shape, has health, has a resistance, damage resistance, and yeah, that seems fine. And then we need to go back to this. We created the resource. Next step, configure the resource. Select your target config.tres file. In the inspector, you'll see the properties you've exported, and you can then drag your mesh and collision shape resources into the appropriate slots and use the resource in your target scene. Okay. So this is how you use that resource. Okay, so you need to create, because it's already been saved as a resource, you can set it as a variable. You know, specify the type, because again, this is a type specifier, right? So it's of type target config. Because we've defined it as a class, that makes it a new type. Okay, I get it. I get that. So we've done step 1, 2. Now step 3 is to do this. So we go to the resources folder and attach the script, I suppose. If I go to... It didn't explain how to connect them, did it? Select target config, save it, then select your file. In the inspector, you'll see the properties you exported. Oh, I did it in the wrong order. Okay. So we need to do this new resource of type target config. Here we go. And now we call this target underscore config.tres. Save it into resources like that. And now it should have those things. Amazing. So if I go to the waypoint scene and I attach, one second, we need to follow those steps because apparently that's important. Step 3 is done. Step 4, use the resource in your target scene. So in your target.tscen's main script, let's do this. Script target behavior. Here we go. We export this. And in the ready function, we do this. Okay, let's try this. So I can go to resource, or should I rather say components, here, like this. And I can add a target to the waypoint. And I can add under config, I can go to resources and put this resource. And now I can set the mesh. How nice. Cylinder mesh. And then we'll take this out. And we'll say here, max health Okay, so what I did there is I'm trying to take this health value and assign it to the max health value. Okay, so let's do that. We'll say max health is assigned config.health. And then we can say current health is assigned max health. What column is that? 31. Okay. Health.connect. I think there's a different way to do this, isn't there? There's health dot health changed dot connect to the function set value in health bar dot set value. Going to this target scene. Health bar 3D, or perhaps just health. No, it's UI. Health bar 2D scene. Health bar signals script change and update value process set health bar texture health bar 3D sub viewport health bar. So Let's just do this. Copy that, paste it here, because we know that part works. Okay. Yeah. Then we can take away this one and try this one as well. Okay, so we can say here health dot max health changed, max health changed dot connect to this callable function. Okay, we'll save that, go to firing range. Save the game and test it. See if it still works. As expected, it doesn't have a config file. So that means I need to create a separate resource. Okay. No worries, we'll figure this out. We'll figure this out in no time. So I'm going to go to the resources, change this to be not target config. I'm going to call this here we go. Target underscore waypoint. Like this. Okay, now if I go to the waypoint setup, I can choose its collision shape to be delete that. This here. Copy. There we go. And here, paste. And then for the collision shape, I can check this one and paste it there. Okay. Set the damage resistance to 0 and save it. Now we'll create a new resource of type target config. We'll call this target underscore generic. And this one, if I go to the target and attach a resource to this, give it generic physics material override. Anyway, let's copy the mesh instance from this, paste it here, and let's copy the collision shape from this and paste it here. Okay, and then save this. So now if I override this with a waypoint and I save this, and I go to firing range and I save this and I run this, we'll see that it does indeed have the waypoint mesh and the collision of a waypoint. Now that's amazing. Okay. Okay. So now what I can do is I can go to the waypoint, give it a target, components, here it is, add a target to the waypoint, give that target a resource for target waypoint. Here you go. Save that. And now we can take away the mesh instance, or maybe just hide it. So if I go to the firing range, it's invisible, right? But when I run the game, you'll see it's not invisible. Oh. That's a problem. Okay. So I got happy a little too early. It seems that I was using these as the, these ones as the shape for the resource when I should have used a generic shape with generic values. Okay, so What is this? The size is 1 by 1 by 1. Resource. Target scene 1. Okay, so if I go to generic and I choose 1 by 1 by 1, don't do that. And then I can choose this is 1 by 1 by 1. There's the path, right? But I can choose this and undo that and then save it. And now if I hide this, I can go to firing range, save the scene and run it. This is annoying. Okay, what I'll do is reset the generic to be just a box. Just a normal box. Nothing special about it. And then for the material, just a new standard material 3D. Give it a color, albedo color. Here we go. Choose just red. So 0, 0. And no texture, that's fine. Emission on. Set it to full brightness on full red, like that. Energy multiplier 1 is fine. And then save this. And then we'll just go into the script here to take damage. If current damage minus damage taken okay, so the first thing we do here is to say damage taken minus equals damage resistance. So config dot damage resistance. So whatever the damage resistance we set is, we reduce it from the damage taken and check if the current health minus the damage taken falls below 0, is less than or equal to 0, then we call destroy. Otherwise, we set the current health to be the new value, emit the signal, and update the health bar. Okay? So now I can say, for example, the target has an armor rating of, in this case, 0, but we could say 10. And then it doesn't take as much damage as a projectile could deal. So if the projectile only deals 10, then it's automatically not going to take any damage from that projectile. We could make this more sophisticated. We could make it like it's completely immune to a specific type of weapon, right? So it's got some kind of shield that protects it from plasma bolts. And so if the plasma bolt is of type or in the grouping of plasma bolt, then we can check here if it's of group plasma bolt, don't even take damage. right? Or double the damage or whatever, depending on whatever the strength or weakness is. We can work on that later. For now, we do need damage resistance because there is a armor rating that we want to add to the game, right? Okay. So that's the generic waypoint, the generic target. Rename lowercase t. Okay. And now I can go to firing range. Save the game. Run the scene. But it's still not working. Why is it still not working? Mesh instance 3D. Config mesh. Collision shape is the collision shape. So here we'll say print config is, or config successful. Okay, so we should have 5 print messages for config successful here if we run the game. Yeah, but we don't see the meshes. Okay. So I've actually run out of time now. I need to go. And we can continue this in the next session. So I will thank you very much for your continued time and attention. I know this is an unusual arrangement. I expect to normalize my timing and live stream protocols and things tomorrow again. This was hopefully just a once-off because yesterday I was just too busy. I couldn't do a live stream. So I hope to have made it up today, and I hope I did that. So once again, a shout out to Cubes. Thank you for your support. And to you all for your time and attention. Thank you for watching. And I